It's been a while since we've talked about Vancouver Canucks prospects, so let's do that today. Adam Gaudette. Now, Gaudette has been somebody who's been on the hot streak recently, as coming off of the Northeastern Huskies game tonight against New Hampshire in a 4-0 victory, Adam Gaudette got himself a goal and an assist. Well, why is this important? Well, let's take a look at the rest of Adam Gaudette's games here in the month of February, going back to February 5th. He had another game against New Hampshire on February 2nd, but let's not rule that one in because he got 0 points in that one. Going back to February 5th, in the Beanpot Semi-Finals against Boston College, Adam Gaudette grabbed himself a goal and 2 assists over there in this 3-0 win for the Huskies. Let's go over to 4 nights later in the week against Connecticut, the University of Connecticut. In a 4-2 loss for the Huskies, Adam Gaudette grabbed himself a goal and an assist for 2 points. So that's both of the goals that the Huskies scored. Later on, a week after the semifinals of the Beanpot, in the finals against the BU Terriers, Adam Gaudette, in a 5-2 win for the Huskies, which was the Beanpot win, by the way, got himself a hat trick on 6 shots. We'll talk about shots a little bit later, but leading into things against Vermont, February 16th, in a 4-3 win for the Huskies, Adam Gaudette got himself a goal. And then the next day, also against Vermont, Adam Gaudette, in a 4-1 Huskies win, grabbed himself 2 goals and 1 assist, for a total of 3 points on 5 total shots. Now, if we go over to yesterday against New Hampshire, on February 23rd, in an 8-0 stomping for the Northeastern University Huskies, Adam Gaudette grabbed himself a goal and 2 assists, for a total of 3 points in this game. Then, tonight, against New Hampshire, once again, in this 4-0 win, so that's 2 shutouts in a row for the Huskies over this same team, Adam Gaudette got himself 2 points here. Now, what does this equate to? Well, if we take all the games going back to February 5th, and we take a look at everything, Adam Gaudette has scored 17 points in the span of 7 games. So just over 2 points a game going back to basically the beginning of the month. That's absolutely incredible. It's phenomenal. The wonders that he is doing for the Huskies right now. He's first in overall points in the country. He's first in goals in the country. He's first in points per game in the country. He's really proving himself as one of the best American players not playing in an NHL-related function right now. At 21 years old, this kid is absolutely tearing things up with the Huskies. I mentioned shots earlier, so let's go over the shots in total. Because against New Hampshire tonight, Adam Gaudette had himself 6 shots and 1 goal. Last night, also against New Hampshire, 6 shots as well, and a goal. The first game against Vermont, he had 3 shots and 1 goal. The second one, 5 shots and 2 goals. In fact, if you take a look at his whole season in general, 141 shots in 34 games is enough to put him at a whopping 4 shots a game. If you want to take a look at just the span of time that I was talking about, so let's go back over to just February 5th, alright, that leaves us with 34 shots in the past 7 games. And if you take a look at that, that is leaning more towards 5 shots a game. It's 4.85, so let's round it up to 5 shots a game. This kid is tearing things up. And for good reason, too, because he's got the skill as a two-way guy. We gotta remember here that Adam Gaudette defines himself and is defined by the Vancouver Canucks organization as a two-way guy. But if you take a look at his highlights, of course, they're not going to show defensive highlights. They don't really show good back-checking and two-way play on highlight packages, but I'll leave a link down in the description below over to Northeastern University's sports channel. I believe it's athletics, so it's relating to all of their sports, but over there you'll find a lot of highlights of their Huskies men's hockey team, and you'll see Adam Gaudette playing in his best case environment in this case. So, of course, they're not going to show off a lot of defensive plays, because, really, who shows off good back-checking in highlight packages? They show off all the highlights of his offensive flair and everything, so you see all the snipes and everything, but if Adam Gaudette is as good of a two-way player as he is as an offensive goal-scoring machine, then best case scenario, Adam Gaudette could be the second coming of a Ryan Kesler. That's best case scenario, so don't quote me on that. Don't call me out in the comments for being delusionally hopeful for Vancouver Canucks prospects, but this is best case scenario here. If he is as good at his two-way game as he is as his offensive game. But the fact that he's first in the country in points, in goals, and points per game at 21 years old, this is such a redeeming quality for this young player right here. And who knows what he'll be able to do at the NHL level. Who knows? Because at this moment, he's sitting at 4 shots a game. He's sitting at 5 shots a game just going back to February 5th. He's sitting at 17 points in 7 games going back to February 5th, over 2 points a game. He's doing fantastically right now. Ever since that Beanpot final, Gaudette has been in an absolute tear and is tearing things up in the league right now, getting himself 56 points in 34 games played. That's, as I said, it's first in the country. It's really good, and granted, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's the only good player on the Huskies right now, because Sekura, Primo, they've got such a good cast of supporting players right there, and Adam Gaudette definitely isn't the only star. In fact, if you look at all the game logs for these Northeastern Husky games, Adam Gaudette isn't the first star in a lot of these games. He was the third star in this game against New Hampshire tonight and yesterday. First star of both of those games, I believe, was Caden Primo because, of course, the goaltender gets 2 shutouts in a row against the same team. Who else would you give the first star to? But overall, the Huskies are such a strong team, and Adam Gaudette is learning how to win in a winning environment. He basically won the Beanpot for his team, for crying out loud. A hat trick in the finals for the Beanpot. And this kid is just such a good player right now, and we gotta thank Jim Benning for it. We absolutely gotta thank Jim Benning for it. I'm not saying that Jim Benning is the reason he has talent, I'm not saying that, but he took a chance on this kid. And I know what you're thinking, okay, if it's a 5th round pick in 2015, how is that really quote-unquote taking a chance? But, oh well, we took a chance on him. We took a chance on him. And I love the humility of Adam Gaudette, because there were some recent quotes coming out on Twitter of interviews with the kid talking about how, okay, are you going to sign with Vancouver, or is that what you're looking towards doing? And he's said on a number of occasions, they took a chance on me. And because of that, I am owed to them to play. I said this before, guys, I'm going to say it again. Adam Gaudette has it plastered basically everywhere on social media. Vancouver Canucks prospect. He's got tons of images everywhere of him wearing that Canucks jersey, and it looks like he will sign, for sure. He's friends with Brock Besser, and we all know that. What kind of player in the Vancouver Canucks system would look at what the Canucks have on the upswing and say, nah, I don't really want to be a part of this? Because if you take a look at everything we've got going for us, you know, Bo Horvat, Brock Besser, Pettersson, Lind, Gadjevich, everybody who's actually finding success outside of the NHL, we've got a good future. And Adam Gaudette looks like he'll be a definite part of that. And I'm just kind of scared where he's going to slot in. Because the way things are going now, his ceiling is rising up and up and up with each passing game in this point streak, and his floor is gradually increasing as well. I won't say that he's absolutely a definite NHL #1 star. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I would say that best case scenario has us with a Gaudette who is the second coming of maybe a slightly worse Ryan Kesler. Because just based off of his performance right here, he could certainly become that. I'm not saying he will, I'm saying that the potential is there, and a best case scenario realizes him becoming that. So, who knows? Who knows? If he is that, is he a player who we slot in our third line? Is he really a player that we play behind Pettersson and Horvat? Because Pettersson's looking like he's going to be a center now. He's been playing that center role quite a bit for the Lakers over there in Sweden. And Horvat, he's a center. So, is Gaudette really a player who would be satisfied as a third-line guy? I don't know. I really don't know. Because his ceiling definitely does have a higher cap than just the third line. But of course, that's just the projections. We don't know where he truly will fit in with the system. But all things considered, we can be confident that he will fit in with the system, and that he will most likely be given an opportunity to play for the Canucks sometime down the line. Because he's first in the country in points, in goals, points per game, 21 years old, averaging 4 shots a game in the season, 5 shots a game in the past little span of 17 points in 7 games. He's playing out of his mind right now, and he's a two-way guy. So not only is he supposed to be focusing on the scoring, but he's also apparently doing well defensively as well. And I can't wait to see him in a Canucks jersey alongside of all the other really good prospects that we've got coming up in our system and who are also playing fairly well right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of Plus News Gaming, and bye.